Diving in limited visibility can mean different things to different people. To some, it's diving after dark with lights designed to go underwater. To others, it's diving in turbid water, water without spectacular visibility. This could be 2 feet or 50 feet, whatever the normal visibility is for the particular area. Whatever your goals are, diving in limited visibility is not difficult, and it can be as much fun as diving in clear water, if you develop the skills, desire, and proper attitude. The skills, knowledge, and techniques for diving at night and in limited visibility water are similar, though night diving requires the use of more specialized equipment. Therefore, in this DVD, we will concentrate mainly on night diving and only cover the differences of diving in turbid water. Night diving is a natural extension of a diver's activities and can add a rewarding and interesting aspect to the sport. Night diving offers the opportunity to see fascinating nocturnal animals that daytime divers may never experience. While night diving is not complex, it does require specialized equipment, proper dive planning, and a thorough understanding of the conditions that diving after dark presents. Night diving requires the use of several pieces of specialized equipment. The most obvious need is for a reliable source of light. Dive lights are not only waterproof, but are pressure-resistant and O-ring sealed. Water-resistant flashlights commonly found at non-scuba-related stores may be okay to use in a rainstorm, but they are not dive lights designed for going underwater. The increased pressure of scuba diving can force water inside of the light, and at depth may cause them to implode. Therefore, only use a dive light that is recommended by your professional SSI dealer. The well-equipped diver will carry 3 lights: a primary light, a smaller backup light to the primary, and a locator light. Lights with strong reflectors and adequate power supplies are considered primary lights. They should be able to illuminate an area underwater the same size and brightness that a good flashlight would on the surface. This may sound like a simple task, but due to the density of water, the primary dive light requires a brighter source of illumination and a greater power supply than a surface light. Dive lights come in many different styles and configurations, but they all have the same basic power source: batteries. Batteries can be either non-rechargeable or rechargeable. Non-rechargeable lights use from 2 to as many as 10 standard dry cell batteries. These can be of any size, from small AA to large 6-volt. In the past, it was common that the larger the light and the more batteries it contained, the brighter the light output. However, many underwater lights today have illumination sources that consume less battery power and provide greater light output. Generally, non-rechargeable lights will have a lower purchase price, but you will have to replace the batteries often to ensure consistent bright operation. Those that dive at night often tend to prefer rechargeable dive lights over their non-rechargeable siblings. Such lights can be recharged literally hundreds, if not thousands of times. While the rechargeable lights themselves may have a larger purchase price, the diver who regularly dives at night can make up the price difference in the cost of the replacement batteries. For a secondary light, consider a smaller light, which can fit conveniently into your BC pocket or hang from your wrist. These lights also come in non-rechargeable and rechargeable models. The night diver should also be equipped with a locator light or chemical glow light. In case of light failure, the locator light will help your buddy see while you switch to your secondary light source or return to the surface. Attach your locator light to your cylinder valve with small nylon line, or use black electrical tape to attach it near your air delivery system first stage. Chemical glow lights, which may be used as locator lights, are plastic tubes with a glass tube inside. When the plastic tube is bent, the glass inside breaks, releasing a chemical that mixes with the tube's contents, producing a bright glow. It is recommended to use a battery-powered locator light. However, if you use a glow light as your indicator, please be sure to dispose of it properly after the dive. If your light fails while on the surface, locator lights can be seen for some distance and will aid in diver recovery if required. Properly preparing the underwater light before the dive will help ensure that it is watertight and functioning correctly. Be sure that it has fresh batteries or that the batteries are fully charged. This simple step will eliminate canceling a dive due to power failure. Inspect the O-rings for wear. A worn O-ring can cause the light to leak. If the O-ring is damaged, replace it with a new one. Your SSI dealer can help you locate the proper O-ring for your light. A small particle of dirt or sand can also cause your light to leak. Clean the O-ring by placing a small amount of silicone grease on your fingertips, rubbing them together until moist, then running your fingers all the way around the O-ring. However, too much grease can also cause leaking, so only put enough grease on the O-ring to make it shiny. Keeping the O-ring moist will also prevent cracking and lengthen their life. Next, check electrical contacts for corrosion. Any corrosion can be removed with fine sandpaper or steel wool. Reassemble the light, making certain that O-rings are in the proper position. A misaligned O-ring may cause leaks. For more information about caring for your lights and other equipment, talk to your SSI dealer about the SSI Equipment Techniques specialty course. Lights should also be equipped with a lanyard. This will prevent the loss of the light should it accidentally be dropped. It also allows the light to hang from the wrist when both hands are needed. Another piece of equipment you should have is a high-quality compass. The three-dimensional underwater world is generally an unfamiliar place, and it is easy to become disoriented, even in optimum conditions. On a night dive, where all sense of direction can become confused, a compass becomes vital. If you are uncertain in the use of a compass, it is recommended that you enroll in the SSI Navigation Specialty course. The face or numbers on the compass and all other gauges used on the night dive should be luminous. That is, they should glow for an extended period of time after being exposed to light. This will eliminate the need to constantly shine the dive light on your instruments to monitor them. Always remember that your equipment should undergo regular maintenance performed by your SSI dealer. This is particularly true in night diving, since it is considered an extreme diving condition. To help you keep your total diving system working properly, your SSI dealer offers the SSI Equipment Service Program. Through the Equipment Service Program, your air delivery system, information system, buoyancy control system, and other systems are thoroughly inspected by qualified service technicians to make sure they work as well as the day you purchased them. Because the experience is sufficiently different, it is by far best to choose a night diving site with which you are thoroughly familiar, preferably one you have dived in the day. When it is not possible to re-dive a spot, buddy teams should make a thorough pre-dive orientation during the daylight hours. If diving from shore, your plan should include entry and exit points, possible hazards such as currents or hidden lines, and major topographical features that will help you orient yourself underwater. The water conditions should also be taken into consideration. Night diving can be a disorienting experience, so water with a high content of silt, plankton, algae, or turbidity should be avoided. Pre-dive planning is especially important when night diving. Divers must agree on emergency procedures before the dive. A thorough knowledge of your buddy's total diving system should be part of this. In the case of an emergency, you should be able to locate your buddy's weight release mechanism, alternate air source, and BC inflator in the dark. Agree in advance on the general direction or compass heading of the dive. Maximum depths and minimum air pressure should also be set. It is recommended that night divers use the rule of 1/3, in which 1/3 of the air is used for the dive out, 1/3 is used for the return trip, and 1/3 is saved for emergencies. Be sure that, as buddies, you are using the same sign language. A slate is also very useful for more difficult communication. Be sure to discuss a lost buddy procedure before the dive. The problem of buddy separation is made more difficult at night. Should you become separated, shine your dive light outward and make 2 or 3 360-degree revolutions. If after a maximum of 30 seconds you are still separated, both of you should ascend to the surface and rejoin there. If your buddy does not surface after a few minutes, go get help. Since it is very difficult to see the exit point on a dark shoreline, it is recommended to place a light or strobe at this location. A nearly perfect light is a kerosene or gas lantern. Some sites may even have a permanent shore light. The exit light must be able to be seen from long distances and provide enough light for the exit and the disassembly of your total diving system. When boat diving at night or in limited visibility, a stable descent line is very important. A line provides a reference to measure your descent and ascent rate. Attach a light source to the line so it can be located in the dark. If you are shore diving, you can also attach a light source to a dock or other underwater landmark as a reference point. Be extra careful in the assembly of your total diving system, making sure it all functions properly. Also, double-check your buddy's equipment. While these steps are important, they are even more so at night. A loose strap, for instance, may be seen and corrected during a day dive, but the likelihood it will be noticed at night is greatly reduced until it causes a problem. When entering the water from shore, use careful footing and help each other. Once you have your compass heading, you are ready to descend. Follow the contour of the bottom until you reach your planned depth or destination. When diving from a boat, descend with the line between you and your buddy, and with your lights facing down toward the bottom. This should prevent a heavy landing on the bottom. Confirm your direction before heading off and prepare yourself for an outstanding array of new nightlife. Should you need to show your buddy something, catch their attention by waving your light at them. To communicate, shine the light on your hand so they can see the signal. Never point the light beam directly at your buddy's face. It is easy for buddies to become separated, so stay together, close enough to touch or even hold hands. Remember that all safety and emergency procedures learned in your open water diver course are still applicable. If you are unsure of your basic skills, enroll in an SSI Scuba Skills Update before your night and limited visibility course. Should your primary light fail, get your buddy's attention and let him or her know. Remember, you should be close enough to touch your buddy. Use his or her light to aid in the retrieval of your secondary light. Once it is turned on, you may either leave the primary light around your wrist or secure it. The decision to continue the dive will depend on the capabilities of your secondary light, the relative conditions of the water, and the confidence of the buddy team. In clear water, skilled divers will have little trouble continuing the dive. However, lack of experience or turbid water may necessitate canceling the dive. If you choose to continue, keep in mind that your secondary light may also fail. During the dive, be especially careful to stay off the bottom and avoid activity that may increase the water's turbidity. This will also help avoid damaging the environment. Dark water has a tendency to increase a diver's susceptibility to vertigo an unsettling sensation of moving but not knowing how fast or slow or in what direction. This type of disorientation is only increased with lack of visibility. To help avoid vertigo, monitor your instruments more frequently than during day dives. When diving at night, it is wise to follow an old pilot's rule. Never trust your senses, only your instruments. When it is time to ascend, check your compass heading to help you relocate the exit point. When boat diving, look for the light source attached to the ascent line. Ascend with the line between you while pointing your lights toward the surface. Keep in mind that ascent rates are difficult to judge, so carefully monitor your instruments. And don't forget your safety stop at 15 feet or 4.5 meters for 3 to 5 minutes. If you are shore diving, use your compass to get you as close as possible to the exit. If you surface some distance from shore, take a new compass heading for the exit light and drop below the surface for the swim back. After reaching the exit, be careful so as not to lose any equipment. This is sometimes easy to do in the dark, and is another good reason for a bright light. When you're ready to leave the site, be a conscientious diver and leave it as you found it. Pick up your equipment and trash. The techniques for diving in turbid water are very similar to those for night diving. The challenge is largely psychological. A positive attitude is crucial to your enjoyment of limited visibility diving. A good descent line is just as important in turbid water diving as it is with night diving. It provides a good vertical reference point, which helps prevent vertigo and disorientation. In very turbid water, you can also attach a light source to the ascent line to help relocate it. Unlike night diving, though, dive lights do not improve visibility on turbid water dives. To a large extent, turbid water is caused by suspended particles in the water. This is called scatter. By shining a light on scatter, the suspended particles brighten, which makes the visibility worse. Therefore, the only reason to take a light is to restore color at depth. As in night diving, another important piece of equipment is the compass. In limited visibility, you cannot rely on natural navigation alone. It's simply too easy to become disoriented. The main problems of turbid water diving are descending and ascending. These problems are easily overcome by using the techniques learned in night diving. That is, use a line for ascents and descents. Keep it between you and your buddy. Monitor your instruments, and use the line as a vertical reference for added control. During the dive, use your compass as a directional reference, and always control your buoyancy. Avoid kicking up the bottom, especially if it is sandy or muddy. Obviously, when diving in turbid water, it is wise to preserve whatever visibility you have. More than likely, there's good limited visibility diving close to you. Night diving offers sights unseen during the day, even in the most familiar daytime spots. Limited visibility also offers plenty of fun and excitement. Most lakes, rivers, and coastal waters offer diving adventure in perfect conditions, usually much closer to home. Divers with the desire and advanced training to dive in these conditions have opportunities to expand their diving sites, as well as their diving days and nights.